equality. I believe in risking one's own safety to further a noble cause. I believe in courage. But you would know none of that. Looking at my epitaph in Little Bank Cemetery, all it simply says is Mona Parsons, wife of. Now, had I had my own way, it would say Mona Parsons, actress, showgirl, nurse, resistance fighter. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me start at the beginning. My name is Mona Parsons, and I was born down the valley in Middleton in 1901. My family moved to Wolfville, and I studied at the Ladies' Seminary House, and it was here that I developed a love of acting, which I pursued by moving to New York City, where I soon became a Ziegfeld showgirl. The costumes, the lights, the music, how I loved it. But it was short-lived, as these things usually are, and I soon moved to Jersey City, where I studied to become a nurse. Now, it was here that I met my husband, Willem Leonhardt, whose family owned a large plumbing fixture company in Holland. Willem and I fell fast in love. We were married in September of 1937. We enjoyed an extended honeymoon traveling around the Italian and French Rivieras in his Jaguar. We built our home in Laren, just outside of Amsterdam. However, in 1940, the Nazis invaded Holland and our lives changed forever. Willem and I became part of an underground resistance. Our home became a secret safe house for gunned-down Alliance airmen. We were betrayed, though. One morning, I came home to find the Gestapo on my doorstep. They arrested me, and Willem, too, I later found out. They questioned me, and while they were skilled, I told them nothing. For 3 months, I was held in confinement and beaten, but still, I told them nothing. Until one day, I was led before a panel of judges and read my sentence. Death by firing squad. I didn't cry or beg for my life. I simply held my head high and said, "You can talk, gentlemen, good day." Was it courage or bravery they saw there? I don't know. But it moved one of them to speak. He said, "Miss Parsons, you should appeal your case." And so I did. And it was reduced to life imprisonment. So I was sent to Vexa prison, a working prison. But here, I found a friend in a Dutch baroness, Wendelin von Wolitzer, a strong, brave, intelligent woman. We became fast friends, and we vowed to escape as soon as the opportunity arose. But now, like I said, Vexa was a working prison, and so we were set to work. My job was to prepare the igniters for the charges that would blow up bridges. All I had to do each day was simply snip the ends of 17,000 wires. Not a hard job, but when I was soon removed from, they said something about shoddy work and sabotage. I assured them I had no idea what they were talking about. So I was moved to sock detail. Day in and day out, I would mend hundreds and hundreds of German socks. They weren't wires, but I can tell you this much. I sewed as many hard, uncomfortable little knots into those socks as possible. But then finally, one day, fate smiled upon Whittle Theatre. The Allies bombed the men's side of our prison, and our warden, she led us out to the courtyard, and she threw open the gates. She said, "You can take your chances in here with the Allied bombs, or out there with the German bullets." Wendelin and I ran. We ran and we escaped. But we found ourselves with no papers, no food, barely any clothes, and deep in German territory. And while Wendelin spoke fluent German, everything I spoke with a thick Canadian accent. So we devised a plan. We'd meet two relatives, our papers lost, trying to find our way back to our family. Wendelin, my niece, would be taking care of me, her aunt, who had a cleft palate, a speech impediment. This was our plan, to rely on Wendelin's German and my acting abilities. I can tell you, it was the goal of my lifetime. And it worked. We traveled under this disguise for weeks, and before we knew it, we found ourselves at the Allied borders. Now here we became separated, but I allowed myself to be captured, and in whose company do I find myself? But the Northern Nova Scotian Highlanders. I'm Canadian, I tell them I'm Nova Scotian. They don't believe me. They think I'm a German spy. I tell them my story, they still don't believe it. Who would? It sounds impossible to my own ears, but I tell it to them anyways. I tell it to them until I'm interrupted from behind. Mona? Mona Parsons? I turn around, and standing in front of me is Captain Kelly White and Captain Vincent McLean, two gentlemen whom I'd gone to Acadia with years ago. I couldn't believe my eyes, nor could they, but they vouched for my identity, and I was finally safe. Willem and I were reunited shortly after this, but the war had taken a much greater toll on him than on me, and he passed away just a few short years later. I remarried, of course. An old family friend, Major General Harry Foster, as in Mona Parsons, wife of. And Harry and I moved back here to Wolfville. We lived just down on Main Street, number 646. And it was there that I stayed until my own passing in 1976. I received citations from General Eisenhower for my contribution to the war, and my picture still does hang at the Legion, where the boys stop in and say hello every once in a while. But you can see how wife of does not really tell my full tale. I mean, for goodness sake, the man whose wife I am isn't even buried here. He's buried down in Kentville with his first wife. So it does my heart good to see you all up here tonight remembering. For you see, my history is your history. And I guess you have to live through a world war to fully understand the sacrifices you must make and the courage you must have. But then again, courage presents itself in many different ways and forms. And who knows, some might say you've all proven your courage just by being out here tonight.